for his field training, but I mean,
like, yeah, probably unmarked cars for sure. You got to get that lunch somehow. So,
yeah. Well, and I'm not saying he got the job because he's black, but I'm not saying that he didn't either. You know, like
I am saying that he got that job because he's black.
It definitely played into the decision making,
and that's not a racist statement by no means. He got that job because he's black. Because there was some turmoil going on in Tulsa right at that time, and honestly, if they would have put a white police chief in, things could have probably got out of hand. So I think it was a strategic move. But
you bring that up, and that means that's going to make the mayor's race really interesting in Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bynum has kind of done what he needed to keep people happy, and now you got at least 2, maybe 3 candidates have come forward that are black that are going to run. I don't know. That one, Dr. Rico Wright. Hey, Dr. Rico Wright, I wish you would listen to this podcast because he announced his candidacy. And then a few days later, a white girl came out and said that he had sexually assaulted her at a bar. And now he's saying, okay, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm saying I got roofied. Come on, man. I'm not buying that shit, bro.
Dude, own it.
When was the last time you heard about somebody getting roofied?
I mean, dude, seriously, own it. I took her in the bathroom. She had a dress on. She didn't have any underwear on. I freaking finger banged her till she squirted. So what? Big deal.
Just say you were drunk and like you were just acting a fool. Don't blame it on somebody roofing you, man. Like, come on.
That was a bitch out, and you know it.
Okay, here's my deal. If you got roofied and you sexually assaulted somebody, you're still held accountable. They're still going to charge you. Like,
really?
And this
no, seriously, they'll charge?
Yeah.
So if I'm I thought that if I went out and drove drunk and accidentally killed somebody, that nothing's going to happen to me because I was drunk. Yeah.
I hate to burst your bubble, bud, but it doesn't work that way. I'm sorry.
And nothing does, you people who thinks it does.
Well, that's my deal, because supposedly this happened 2 years ago. Okay, well, that's in the statute of limitations. So why is the DA's office not talking about charging this dude with this sexual assault? He's on the news. The Rico Wright is on the news saying he believes it happened. I believe it happened. Well, you just admitted guilt, bud. Like, come on. Oh, but I was roofied, so it doesn't count. Hell yeah, it counts.
Yeah.
Oh, and he said in his speech, he's hoping she forgives him, and he's seeking reconciliation. Isn't that?
Well, there's a fucking street downtown just for you, man.
Exactly.
You walk that motherfucker for all I care.
He said that. I was like, oh, no, he didn't. Like, are you serious?
We got a street for you, buddy. Oh, my God.
I mean, you're a doctor. You have a PhD, and the best defense you can come up with is you got roofied. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you're smart, but I applaud you, though. I applaud you. You gave it one hell of a try, but
I ain't buying it.
It didn't work. Go roofie somebody else. Oh, my God.
I'm going to start acting a fool and just tell everybody I was roofied.
And tell everybody you were roofied.
Yeah, just act a fool. Just get drunk and just raise hell and then be like, what happened to you? I got roofied. Oh, you were roofied? It doesn't count then. Sorry about that.
No. All right, I'm going to spin that wheel one more time. Big money, no whammies. Big money, no whammies.
No.
Uh-oh.
Man.
Coronavirus. I'm so sick of talking about it. Jesus.
How do you feel about this mess, dude?
I feel like Miyagi just took me to school. Mask on, mask off.
Yeah.
Mask on, mask off.
That's a good way to put it, man. Like, it is so hard to figure out what is real and what is not with this. I mean, I see a lot of people online that don't believe they fully believe this is just the flu. I don't believe that, but I also don't believe it is. Here's the deal. I see, like, I was in Walmart earlier today.
Of course you were.
I actually didn't have a problem in that, but because I've been going to the good one lately. So, but anyway, back to what I was saying.
Oh, you went to the white people one? You went to the all Walmart?
Yeah, I went to the all Walmart.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
So I see all these people with masks on, but they have them pulled down underneath their nose. And then I see these people with gloves on that are just doing stupid shit. If this thing was as contagious as they say it is, this thing would be rampant by now. I mean, it's pretty bad, but it would be rampant by now.
In order for you to keep yourself from getting COVID-19, first off, you would have to know what being sterile is, and second, you'd have to carry it on in your life. You'd have to put on gloves, make sure you don't touch a freaking thing, much less your face, or you'll contaminate those gloves. Because if this was an operating room, I'd already had contamination on both of my gloves, and I just put them on 5 seconds ago. That's contamination. So the gloves pick up the contamination. The first time you touch your forehead, first time you move that mask with your fingers, because everybody knows you move that freaking mask back and forth. You sweat under it. It's uncomfortable. I get it. I don't want a mask either, but I guess I'm going to have to do what I'm told for right now. Or do I? I digress. You gotta stay sterile to not catch COVID-19. Literally.
And if it's as contagious as they're trying to make you believe, we'd all have it. I mean, everybody would have it.
Now, am I saying that Trump is right? Nope. Am I saying Trump is wrong? Nope. Guess what? We've never had a COVID-19 before in our lifetimes. Because I've had like 3 lifetimes. Last lifetime I was a bird. Before that I was a railroad spike. I don't know what the fuck that was. But anyways.
You got fucked on that deal.
I got, my ass was beat down. Literally.
Well, here's one thing that the nurse told me at one point, that, I mean, she sees people that have it, you know, but she said that the panic, she doesn't feel the panic unless she watches the news. That's where the panic.
Man, your peas are spiky.
So my mic just lit up red when I said that one.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Because we don't have a pop filter on your microphone. It picks it up extra special.
But I haven't had one on there in a while. Usually I watch it. It's been staying green. I don't know why it's so much of that Satan.
Beats me.
Let's call for alcohol.
Apparently, it is last call. And there's no alcohol involved today. I've not had a drink whatsoever. I've had a Diet Dr. Pepper.
I'm a PBR, but that's me. That's nothing new.
Okay, so last call. I want to ask everybody one question, and I'd love for everybody to contact the show. But of everybody that listens to our program that's in the contiguous U.S., I guess you could do Hawaii and Alaska too, and Puerto Rico, just send us an email telling us what we can do to make things better for you. Is there something that you want us to bring back that we did in the past that was really funny? Is there something that you may want us to add in the near future? Apparently, since this world is all about changing, well, I guess we better roll with it too. But unlike the career politicians in Washington, D.C., we actually care about the people that we represent, which we are. Well, I guess we don't represent you, but we represent in Titty and Shiner Nation. That's for damn sure.
TNS Nation.
Whoa.
I've had some people contact me and ask me why we don't have guests. And we've kind of steered clear of it because there's definitely, like, Titty and I just like to bullshit with each other. And we say it all the time. I'm always amazed how many people listen to this shit show, because this is literally an hour of us have just a bullshit conversation with each other. Like, if we weren't doing a podcast, we would probably have a Wednesday night phone call and do exactly what we're
doing. Or no shit,
right now.
30 years in the future, you're going to hear the same thing. It's just going to be in regular voices. And we'll be a little old. We'll be rocking back and forth and not quite on the microphone. And where's my lemonade and my glass of fiber? I need my glass of fiber. I won't be able to poop later. You know, that's the kind of stuff that we'll be talking about in 30 years, but it'll still be the same old shit back and forth.
Yeah, just us bullshit. And,
yeah.
You know? But yeah, if you guys, if that's something that you would like to hear us do and interview somebody, like maybe we could set it up. We bring a guest on, every once in a blue moon or something.
Yeah, majority rules, man. If many of you are asking for interviews, yeah, I can't say that I know anybody with massive influence by no means, but
we need to have Sarge on here. We need to have Sarge. We need to interview my nephew Bobby.
Bobby for an entire episode would be epic. It would have to come with like NFSW warnings right at the beginning.
Oh man!
For all of you that listen to, if you listen to this at work on the Bobby episode, and we'll just call it that, the Bobby episode. On the Bobby episode, you might want to wait till you get in your car on your way home and listen to it.
Don't have children around. Don't have any kids around. Bobby's on the show.
Bobby is the most foul-mouthed, funniest 6-year-old I've ever had the pleasure of knowing in my life.
He's a piece of work. We could have Sarge could come on, but it'd be like a 2-hour episode because Sarge is going to go down some rabbit holes that I don't know if we're all prepared for.
No, maybe one or two we might have to shorten up in post-production.
Because he's got a lot to say, man. He definitely has a lot to say.
Out on this op, and we decided, you know what, it's getting awful hot. And I remember the last store we stopped at, they had the pineapple pops. So we sent the rookie back to get pineapple pops. And
you know what's funny about him and my grandfather when he was alive was the same way. And they love to tell those stories, dude. And they'll tell them as long as somebody will listen. They'll tell them as many times as somebody wants to hear that story. My grandfather was funny because he'd start telling you a story, and he'd go like, "This one time, me and so and he'd start telling. I go, hey, I know that story. I've heard you tell that story. He'd go, all right, and he'd just go back to telling it like you were going to hear it again. Okay, well here we go.
Yeah, I had an uncle that did that too, and it's kind of funny because it was the same story, but completely different characters. He would come up, he'd tell you the story about, man, the other day I was with my best friend Chesty, and we were out car shopping, and Chesty wound up buying an airplane, blah, blah, blah. And well, next story would be like, yeah, me and my wife were out car shopping, and she said she wanted an airplane, but I can't afford an airplane. And the next time the story would be a little different with totally different characters. But he'd always tell the same fucking story.
You know what? I'll tell you, speaking of my grandfather, this just came in my head. There's all these people online talking about cops and this and that, and they're just looking to kill people, and they're doing this and they're doing that. I can say from firsthand experience and firsthand knowledge, my grandfather took the life of somebody when he was not. And when he passed away, that still bothered him to the moment he passed. Like that he hated that he had to do. And I mean, and you have to know my grandfather. My grandfather was Archie Bunker. That's just who he was. But the fact that he did that really, really bothered him. So anybody that has the view that that's all they're getting dressed to go to work to do and hoping they have the chance to kill somebody, that's not it at all. It's not it at all.
No.
He was one of the most rough, gruff people you could ever met in your life, and it bothered him to no end that he.
It was probably his last thought.
Yeah, it could have been because he held on to that for. My dad was in college when it happened, so he held on to that for decades, dude. I mean, always. And I'll tell you, growing up, I knew it happened. I mean, I was aware that situation took place. Probably about 6 or 7 years ago, he called me to go to lunch one day, and I went and had a burger with him at Ron's Hamburgers in Tulsa. Mm-hmm. And in just passing conversation, he mentioned that situation. I said, hey, you know what? I've never heard you tell the story of all the stories I'd ever heard. And he said, really? And he started telling me the story of that night. And I can remember thinking at a pretty early point in the conversation that I could tell by the look in his eyes, he was back there and it was happening again. And I knew I just needed to be quiet and just let him tell that story. And that's probably one of my favorite memories of my grandfather now that he's passed, is that he told me that firsthand account of that. And he also told me how he felt in the moment, how he felt days after, and how he felt years after about it happening. And it's just a crazy time. But I don't like people saying cops are just trying to kill people. They're looking to kill people because, like I said, he was one of the most rough, just gruff people you could ever be around, and it really affected his soul.
I think that would be a really cool interview, especially if your dad can kind of expound on that. If Sarge can expound on it, then